Welcome to Speaker Co-working. This is our daily call that we do at 12 p.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. Eastern daily with speakers from around the world that are looking to get on more stages in order to offer their products and services to a dying world that needs their help. I'm Ron Story. I'm the head of product and membership at SpeakerHub. I'm joined here today with Angela Lewis, who's our head of operations, along with a couple of people that we know. I know Sharon is a client of ours, and Jonathan is also a client of ours. So we're just here today to answer whatever questions they have about getting booked, about building a business around speaking, meaning using speaking as the marketing and sales engine for their bigger enterprise. That's what we teach at SpeakerHub. That's what we effectively do. So yeah, good to see everybody. So Jonathan, we had a conversation for the last 15 minutes. If you have any other questions you want to ask me or ask Sharon or anyone else about what we've been doing?
No, Ron. I mean, I love your process. You know, you've got it well laid out. So those 15 minutes have been very informative.
Cool.
I have a question.
Yep.
Can we hear from Jonathan about
Oh yeah, tell us what you do. They don't know what you do. I know, but they don't know. So can you introduce yourself, please?
So I come out of a sort of duality of financial services, but I'm also a Gallup certified strengths coach. And as a result of the consulting I did at Merrill Lynch for 7 years, the focus on where is the value of human advice with the onslaught of fintech, Merrill did a webinar about 10 years ago on Are You Ready to Live to 100? And as a result of working with teams in the southeast of the US, you know, they generally respond, well, we plan clients to 95 or 100, but that's not going to be me. I don't want to be old and decrepit, was the responses they get. And so we started putting on, or I created these workshops to really start getting more feedback from the clients. And that's turned into a full-fledged presentation stroke keynote. So last year I was the keynote speaker for the Florida Council on Aging, on flourishing in the age of longevity. And the key difference is most of those who are living far longer than they expected, and many more are now, they're doing it by default rather than by design. So what happens when we start being more intentional in who knows what's ahead? This isn't about living forever, but what does it take, you know, if you reframe and redefine, what does it mean to successfully age? And I was just at the FSU in Tallahassee at the College of Medicine. I was the keynote there for their Alzheimer's project educational conference. So, you know, this thing's bubbling away, but it's a fascinating topic to be wandering through.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. It's a very important topic.
Yep. Sharon, you want to tell them, you want to tell everyone what you do? Because I think if people follow your instructions, they might live to be 100.
Yeah, they just me. Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Sharon D. Brown, and I'm the founder of Self-Carepreneur Academy. And one of the things that I do and aspire to do, and my mission is to help entrepreneurs and leaders just to pretty much use self-care to supercharge themselves and to sustain their sanity. One, not just in business, but in life as well. And a lot of times we just overlook the things that we can be doing to, you know, take care of ourselves. You know, as a self-care thing, I started coming here, and it has, you know, expanded me and it allowed me to face some of the fears I have. And then Ron really does have a very unique and profound system. And it's kind of one of those things, it's what I have been, I can't say actually looking for, but it's what I have needed in being consistent, especially when it comes to pitching, because I wasn't doing what I needed to do because I knew within my heart I needed a system. And Ron definitely has the system for that.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even pay for that commercial. I'm going to take it though. This is supposed to be about Sharon, and all of a sudden it became about the results that she's getting, which is important, right? Because we are tied to our results, right? And as I was mentioning to Jonathan earlier, we're a show your work company. So we're going to show you what we've done. We're proud of the work we've done. We're proud of the speakers we've worked with. And you know, in a world where everybody can be anything they want to be on the internet, the one thing we've chosen to be was honest. We wanted to show, hey, here's what we do. Here are the results we've gotten. If you want to emulate those results, we'll give you the recipe. If you don't, that's okay too. We'll still be friends. We'll still be here when you come back. Because when you go and you try all the other stuff, we'll still be here doing the same things that we've been doing before. So, any other questions or comments or topics? Our 3 o'clock and our 7 o'clock is our smaller show or our smaller audience, where we usually get into more specific things, or either I'll just teach on a particular topic while I'm here. But any other questions you've always wanted to ask somebody, Jonathan, pertaining to the business or getting booked or a podcast or product development? I've done millions of dollars in sales of product from the stage. So
Well, I can tell that. I mean, off the top of my head right now, Ron, no. I mean, you've already given me plenty to go and dive into. So I'll look forward to that email that you mentioned and acting on that.
yeah, it's called the Booked in 5 Days Challenge.
Got it.
And basically it's 7 days altogether, but it's called Booked in 5 days because there's a first day, which is a preparation.
Yep.
And then there's the 5 days that takes about 20 minutes a day to do. And then on the end, it's just a check of results. Hey, what came out of this over these 5 days? And we call that two-way accountability. And with most companies, the customer holds the company accountable, right? Hey, I tried this, it didn't work. But very rarely does the company have the tools to hold the customer accountable. Yeah, it didn't work because you didn't work. So we have a very clear leaderboard where we love to show, hey, we can see who's sending the pitches and who's not, right? We can see this live. I mean, it updates live. On the other side, we can see who's done what for the month. On our homepage, we even show this live tracker on the homepage. So when someone comes here at the bottom, it usually will pop up and say, this person just got booked or whatever. So this is something that we truly believe in, that we found to be fairly effective, because nobody else wants to, as we say, get naked in front of you. There's a bunch of smoke and mirrors in their business, and I just don't play those games. I would rather you lie about me than have me ever lie to you, right?
Very
So
good.
go ahead, Sharon.
Oh, I was just going to ask you if you wanted to teach, have something to teach on today. Can you, like, pretty much like what you were talking about, and it's something that I talk about as well, is really all of this is about habit forming. Because just like I was saying before, I needed something to help me with my habit. I knew what to do, but because I didn't have all the systems in it, and like you said, in checking in, doing something for 20 minutes a day, that's going to allow us to get better. Because, when I first started, like pitching, I was doing just 2 because I wanted to kind of get the feel of it. I wouldn't tell nobody to do more than that. But I'm just saying, if you wanted something to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it, right? So I think AJ is coming in. Angie, if you want to man the door, that's good. So let's talk about that, right? Because we do have a system, and we develop, I don't know, maybe 90 frameworks over time. As we keep working, we come up with different ideas. But one of those frameworks is what we call the speaker launch formula, right? So, Jonathan, here's one of the cool things. Every speaker is usually in some particular category, depending on the amount of time that they've been speaking and whatever their personal goals are. Some people don't want to do conferences. Some people don't want to do podcasts. You can choose whatever path you want to go down, but we should be able to give you some data that shows what you should expect, right? So if someone is saying, hey, look, I do better going on podcasts to get my message out and to build my intellectual property and to get clients from there, but also do really well when I go speak at a local association, and then the companies out of that association book me to speak. So if someone wanted to do 48 podcasts in a year, they really only probably need to pitch. If they get really good at it, they only need to reach out to 40 podcasts a month, which is 2 a day, right?
Yep.
if they want to go speak at an association every single month, right? It's usually only 3 a day that you got to start the conversations with. So we teach a system called 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 quarters, meaning that you can go on a podcast in 2 weeks. It'll be booked and out in 2 weeks. That's like the standard time frame. You can get booked at an association to talk in 2 months. They probably already have their speaker for March. They got their one for April, but they'll have you on in March. They're not 6 months booked out. They don't think that far ahead. A lot of them are volunteers that are working in that association. They just have a lot of responsibility in budgeting. Does that make sense? So
yeah.
they're usually 2 months booked out for their speakers, right, at the associations. But if we look at conferences, they're 2 quarters out, right? Right now in March, we're pitching conferences in November, December, and January because they need to make their decisions so they can start with their marketing and get the speakers already lined up so they can start planning and doing the other things. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But here's the cool thing. There's also publications. I don't know another organization that has put more speakers in publications. And I'm not saying them covering you. I'm talking about you being a paid contributor where you're writing for the publication. So I'm going to share this with everyone because it's that discipline that changes everything, right? So look at this. This guy hopped in yesterday. Pretty much a ghost in his group, but I landed a training contract with Novartis, right? That comes from pitching using our stuff, right? Here's another one. Always working behind the scenes. I've pitches going out on my behalf. Here's a response I got back, right? I mean, these are just results. Christina spoke at, no, here's the cool thing. Let me share this with you. So we did this Pro Speaker Summit in October. And Christina has mastered getting on television. She has newsjacked more stuff than ever. She'll be on the news every week for something. You're like, dude, I didn't even know you knew about that topic. But she will make it where she can get on the news or her clients. So she calls it PR famous, how to use local PR to build authority. This is her free talk. You can go and check it out. But we had her come on and talk about that, right? But here's the funny thing. One of the other people who talked there was my business partner, Kamanzi. And I'm trying to find Kamanzi. Where is Kamanzi? Is Kamanzi on
Under
this page?
Paul.
Next
She's
one
right
down.
under Paul.
Oh,
Up
right here.
ahead of
Right.
me.
So Kamanzi did this talk here, how to make money as a magazine contributor. Who you think watched that? Christina was like, Ron, is this real? I'm like, yeah, why would I be in a business where it's not real? So she says, all right, I'm going to join the group. So she paid for the group. She came in, and today, guess what? First article published
Good for
in
her.
Business Insider, right? Now, this is somebody that everyone else would have seen as an expert, but her level of humility to understand, hey, I'm not good at that. If I can just go borrow from the people that are good at that and add that to my repertoire, that's cheating. Now she's not introduced as Christina Daves. She's introduced as Business Insider contributor Christina Daves, which opens up more eyes, right? You
Yep.
being a writer for Parenting Magazine or Aging Magazine or Age with Grace, whatever, that changes the way that they introduce you
Yes.
because it gives everyone else the security that you've been vetted before.
Right.
Right? Just like when you mentioned Merrill Lynch, that opens up some people's eyes. We call it a dog whistle, right? A dog whistle is when you say something that is on the slide. You didn't say, I used to work at Merrill Lynch. You say, oh, I was working with Merrill Lynch about this thing. It's like, wait a minute, you did what? Right? So it's those dog whistles are what get people interested. When you introduce, hey, I'm a contributor for the Wall Street Journal. What? I read the Wall Street Journal, right? That's what they hear. So we think that becoming contributors to magazines and us showing you how to pitch and get, right? This person just joined. Here's another one. I was featured on Oprah Daily. Now, let me talk about this for a minute. I wish Jasmine was here because Jasmine is in this group. And Jasmine been trying to get on Oprah, but she ain't never pitched Oprah Daily. I'm like, you could just get on Oprah, write for her magazine. She ain't got a TV show no more. Just become a contributor to her magazine. Now your story of being on her show makes more sense. Do you hear what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
there's so many. Tony Woodall, right? Tony is a smart dude. He's walked across Portugal, I think, 16 times. All right. It's called the Camino. It has all these different routes, north and south, east and west, all over Portugal. He's done 16 of the routes walking. Right.
Yeah.
Now that's a cool thing. So this is him in Fast Company talking about it. Right. So this is what we do. We want to make sure that you can take your intellectual property and your experiences and manifest them in different ways, not just I'm a speaker. Right? Someone wants to read that in a magazine. Someone wants to watch that on YouTube. Someone wants to hear it on a webinar. Someone wants to hear you live at their workplace, where it's more tailored towards them. There's so many opportunities, guys. So Sharon, thanks for the prompt on talking about that, because it's the system that works, right? All of these people are just pitching using our systems. And it's like, oh, if I send enough, somebody has to tell me yes, right? So any questions about that? Are you surprised seeing that, Jonathan? You notice we don't want you just with a quote. I want you getting paid for the article,
Yeah, there's no surprise, as you say. It's a numbers game. It's having a system, and you can demonstrate, what a powerful, story you've got.
Exactly. Right. So here's something. Let's see. Let's see if I can bring this up here. We'll search in here. Right. So here it is. Look at this. $3 per word. New Republic. You write 1,000 words, that's $3,000. High paid opportunities. Cosmopolitan. $1.50 to $2 a word. They're looking for 3,000 word articles. Wired, $1 per word. Starting at, you got to write a 2,500 word article. I mean, this is bananas. Guardian. This is cheating. Right? Jonathan, you heard of this company before?
I was on their global thought leadership conference yesterday, Unlocking Healthy Longevity. So
look at that, $1 a word.
Yeah.
And if you do audio or video, it's $5,000.
So where do I go? Where, when I sign up, where do I go to see all of this?
Yep. So once you get access to SpeakerHub Pro, we will put you in that group.
Okay.
But all of the contacts are here.
Got it.
So I come in here, I type AARP. It's going to bring up the different folks that we should contact with that one. There it is.
Brilliant.
You see that?
Yep.
Right? You want to go retirement magazine or whatever, any magazine that's on retirement, boom.
There you go.
Right? Boomer Times and Senior Life, right? Type in senior.
When you click on each one, does it give you a breakdown of the words, the price per words?
So we don't have that information because that changes.
Yep.
But here's the great thing about it. At the beginning, you're going to write just to get the credential.
Mm-hmm.
And as a demonstration to show the ones that pay more. Because they're going to want to see writing samples.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we give you all the information, the contact information, so that you can reach out and say, hey, I would love to contribute an article, op-ed or something, right? You just want to be in the article.
Yeah.
Right? You just want to contribute something so that people are like, okay, I get it. I like this guy. And then now you're using that to get that flywheel going, right? They see you on podcasts. They see you doing the associations. Next thing you know, is Jonathan Ainsley, the leading authority on aging in America, and There it is.
Yep, amen. So I was playing around with Grok yesterday about that. So, being that subject matter expert in intentional aging, and no one else is doing it. But
Yeah, I
again,
mean, and there's a huge push right now for seniors to return to the workforce in the
yep,
U.S. because the current young generation doesn't want to do the entry level jobs anymore.
right,
So the seniors are going back and getting the $30,000 and $40,000 jobs that the young people think that that's beneath me. I want to do my own thing. And
right.
they're going back. They already got the discipline. They already got the experience. They're already respectful of customers. So they're re-entering back at the top on a
Yes.
part-time or full-time basis because they are still healthy in their 60s and 70s, right?
And even more, I saw a YouTube with a 103-year-old guy who takes no medication and doesn't use a walking stick. So I want that.
Oh,
What
dude,
if I get there, what have I got to do it,
that would be incredible, And if you can still use your brain and work and
Mm,
contribute and feel good, that's what it's about, man. You got to have something to wake up to. That's what I found. My,
yes.
my mom, she's 77 and her puppy passed away back in January. And she's like, oh, I'll get another dog. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Man, a month ago, another dog showing up. She needs
Good.
something to take care of. I can't
Yeah.
hope that she just gonna just for 6 months with nothing to look forward to every morning.
Right.
Nothing. Yep.
Well, the flip side is the 77-year-olds who go, well, I'm too old to get another one. And that's the bigger story. And so, good for her. Again, none of us know how long we have got, but unlocking a bigger view on life is part of the fun.
Oh yeah, purpose is really important.
Yeah.
My nieces and nephews are over there. They're one of them is 3 and the other one is 2. They're brothers and sisters, so they're there every day too. But even when they're not there and they're in school, because one of them goes to school, the puppy still is. I get
Yes.
6 pictures a day from my mom with that daggone dog.
No, I
Okay,
bet.
like so I'm like, oh yeah, this dog is more important than my daughter. Like this is her real grandkid. This my daughter lives too far away. This is her real grandbaby right here. This little dog named Stormy. So,
Beautiful.
Jonathan, I get it. I think you're doing the world a good favor by encouraging our senior population that we all aspire to be.
Well, and just the flip side, Ron, I had a 24-year-old in the workshop last year say, this is amazing. So this is for all ages, that's the other neat thing. So anyway, again, I don't want to hog all this, but
Oh no.
it is a lot of fun.
Well, I was talking to someone and it was me, an older person and a younger person. And it was like, man, I'm about to turn 80, right?
Yeah.
And the younger person was like, oh, I don't really know if I want to be 80 and be all old and can barely move. They looked at him and says, because you never been 79.
Love it. Love it. But this
Everybody
is
who's
it,
79 want to be 80.
Yeah. But that's the thing. We don't know. Part of my deal, my grandmother spent 30 years promising me each year would be her last because she was too old and frail to go on and made it to just shy of 101. So how much life did she miss out on? Because that was the mindset. She didn't know any better. You think retirement as a model based on 65 is nearly 100 years old.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
And the flip side is 12.4 years of chronic illness is the average in this country. So who would sign up for that if they really realize that's where they're headed? And oh, by the way, women get two more years on top of that.
wow. So
So
would you say chronic illness? What do you mean? Like with like heart disease or something like that, or what?
yeah, I mean, heart disease is the biggest problem, but one thing begets another. So once you get one thing, it starts leading to more. And again, the default is to reach for medication. That's what the medical world is trained to give us. Only 2.5% of healthcare expenditure is preventative. So rather than being reactive to everything, again, what happens if we're more, mindset, physical health, metabolic health, purpose, community, long and financial education and financial fitness? You start looking through those things and you create a difference. But yeah, chronic. It's the gap between lifespan and health span. So,
No,
yeah.
that's incredible. I want to share something with you because I think this is going to be helpful for you. So that profile that you have, we're doing an update to it, right?
Okay.
So it's going to be video first so that people can hear you talking about
Mhm.
what you talk about. It's going to show what types of stages you're available for, what your fees are, what your topics are, but also your signature talks. All of those will be highlighted here. Does that
Brilliant.
make sense?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
here's the cool part. You'll be able to sell your courses and trainings right from your SpeakerHub profile.
Great. And
Right?
I'm on Thinkific, you know, I mean, I've already got stuff set up. So, you know, this is very helpful.
Yep. And if you got books, you'll be able to sell your books all from the same profile.
Excellent.
It won't just be for speaking gigs. We want you to be the thought leader. We want, we get over 200,000 unique visitors per month, over 1 million visits per month to our webpage. And we want to make sure that we're available to help you to move those books, to sell those courses, to get on the stages you want to be on.
I can't remember what it is, but at the end of a presentation, you can throw up a QR code where they go in and basically, you know, give you testimonials and stuff. So is that part of the platform?
Yep, that's here. It's called Speaker
Great.
QR.
Great.
So you basically create these QR codes so that they can give you reviews. Those reviews will show up on your profile,
Great.
right? And then you can easily follow up. So you can see 6 people reviewed me.
Yep.
I can come over here and I can see that this is the Terry and Michael show
There
I
you
was
go.
on.
Brilliant.
I click here. It says, I love the part about break dancing and eating shawarma, right?
Ah, shawarma. Yes,
So
please.
I click continue and watch what happens.
There you go.
Thanks for your fantastic feedback and 5-star reviews. I'm thrilled to hear you enjoyed my segment about breakdancing and eating shawarma. So it
Brilliant.
brings in that
Yep.
perspective.
Their language. Very
Yep.
good.
Yep. So Celestine, nice to meet you. Good to see you. I'm Ron Story. Where are you calling in
Hi,
from?
I'm calling from Florida. It's Clestine. Hard C.
Oh, Clestine.
Clestine.
Oh, sorry.
Mhm. No
Like
problem.
by habit, I saw Celestine. Look.
Most people call me that, but it's Clestine. But
Okay.
I'm here from Florida, sunny Florida.
Okay, cool. You may be neighbors to Jonathan.
Okay.
Orlando, Winter Park.
Oh, I'm 2 hours from there. I'm on the Gulf Coast.
Whereabouts?
Um, a town called Spring Hill near Brooksville.
Okay. 50.
Next to Brooksville.
Weekie Watchy.
There you go. You know it.
Merrill Lynch has an office in Weekie Watchy.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
So-
this has been brilliant. I've got something I need to get onto, but this
Okay.
is so brilliant. I'll be standing by for that email, Ron.
Yep,
Thank
I'll
you.
get it to you. It's going to be great. We're going to help you a lot.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Looking forward to it. Cheers.
Cool. Clestine, nice to meet you. I know we got a meeting set up today at 3:30 Eastern, but this is our normal call we do every day with speakers from all over the country
Okay.
that ask different questions. I didn't realize that your meeting overlapped, but we can still have it, right? So what is it?
Okay.
We always have people to introduce themselves. This is our normal, we call it speaker co-working. We do this at 12 noon, 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. daily with different speakers that are looking to get booked on more stages in order to get paid to speak, but also to sell their products and services. I'm Ron Story. I am the head of booking and membership at SpeakerHub. I'm also the chief bottle washer, janitor, and everything else, even though our team has about 42 people on it. Ange makes sure that everyone does what they need to do. She's our head of operations. And Sharon is a client of ours, and AJ is a client of ours for the last 5 years. So, we always have people introduce themselves when it's their first time. So, if you want to tell us a little bit about you and what you speak about as the purpose coach.
Hello, everybody. I know as Christina Purpose Coach, and I help Christian women to identify their genius and then to develop the success mindset so that they can live it boldly. And I do that through speaking. I have a proprietary mindset method and coaching program that I use. And I'm also author of 2 books. And I've been speaking for about 20 years, but I want to really take it to the next level where I'm thriving. I'm thriving.
No, that's incredible. That's incredible. So it sounds like, do you have other products and services also?
Yeah, I have books, coaching programs.
Okay. So are you
Mhm.
looking to speak? Are you looking to get paid to speak or speak to get paid?
Yes, get paid to speak.
Get paid to speak. Okay.
Get
And
paid
how
to.
many paid speaking gigs did you do in 2024?
Um, it was nominal. It wasn't that much. It was maybe 7.
Okay. And what's your fee?
My fee going forward is 5,000.
What did you get paid at your last one?
At the last one, it was just 100. It was a local
Okay.
church. Mhm.
And has that been the average in the past?
I'm
Or
sorry, it
that,
was 500. 500.
has
It was a
that been
local
like the
church.
range in the past, under $1,000?
Yes.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. So I'm Ron. I'm going to walk you through how we help speakers like you to
Mhm.
get paid way more than $5,000, right?
All right.
I think you're undervaluing yourself, right? The fee that you charge up front is limited by the imagination of the person that's booking you, right? So if the event planner has a budget constraint, that doesn't mean that your value isn't more than that. Does that make sense? So let me
Mhm.
give you a great example. I got about $2,000 to book Beyonce, but Beyonce's value is worth way more than $2,000.
Right.
So she shouldn't show up because I only got $2,000, right? But if she said, you know what, Ron, I'll come and speak for free, but I'm keeping all the money I make from ticket sales. If people end up, don't pay me to show up, but I'll set it up, but I want to keep all the money from the ticket sales. You think
Mhm.
she would go for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a better deal for her, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's what we teach speakers to do, right?
Mhm.
Because I don't believe that I've never been paid to show up to speak. And I've worked with 1,000 speakers up front as their agent, and I've made
Mhm.
more than every speaker that I've ever booked by me selling from the stage than what they ever would get paid to show up front, right?
Question. Can I ask a question?
Of course, yeah.
So,
This interactive. I'm just talking to you like we cousins. You know, this is a family reunion.
we cousins. I like that. Okay, so I can ask anything. So,
Yeah.
um,
I'm 47. I live in Medellin, Colombia. I got 2 kids. I'm just
I'm 55. All right. So let's say it's a corporate thing, a corporate conference or summit or a corporate. Oftentimes they don't allow you to sell from the stage unless you, and please correct me if I'm wrong, which I know you will, unless you pre-book that they purchase your book or something like that, right?
Yep. So that is one method of speaking, right?
Mhm.
But in reality, most people never make it on a corporate stage,
Okay.
right? So that's only one type of stage. The associations, there's podcasts, there's large conferences there's trade shows. Corporate is such a small part. And the reason being is because of all of the vetting and all of the things that you have to go through in order to get those corporate gigs, right? So have you done corporate gigs in the past?
Training
Okay.
for
Under
small
the
businesses.
But under the Christian, helping Christian women part,
No,
right? So
no.
from
So it
that,
was more like leadership mindset, that kind of
exactly,
thing,
right?
personal development. Mhm.
Yep. So, and that's the reason why a lot of like a small percentage of speaking gigs are corporate because they're usually focused on 2 things: leadership, sales, or, something like that. It's like a very narrow funnel where I can show you 10,000 podcasts that you could be a guest on and make $1 million off of, right? I could show you 5,000 associations that are focused on Christian women that will book you tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, you don't have to hide your Christian women thing.
Mhm.
Corporation, you got to tuck that in your pocket and bring it out when you get back in the parking lot. Right? You know, you got to tuck the
Right.
Muslim thing up. You got to tuck the, well, I help Jewish up. Yep. Go on. I help women up. Up. No, no, no. Your talk better be for everybody. Because how we define women and men and this and that and this, I put that in your pocket. Right. So what we try to do is to make sure that a speaker can get on whatever stage they want to get on. But the main thing is you got to make some money. Right. Most speakers are more loyal to their topic than they are to their paycheck. And it's like, dude, I got to pay these bills, right? I got to build this business. I can't be, oh, I only talk about this. Well, I'm alienating a bunch of people that can pay me. So let me show you how we do it. And I think you'll appreciate this, right? So let me bring up my page here. All right. So as I mentioned, I'm Ron at SpeakerHub, right? And by working with those speakers, I learned this process called the speaker flywheel. And the flywheel is essentially how every speaker in the world gets booked. Either it's from inbound, meaning people reach out to them and say, hey, can you come talk in my organization? Or it's from outbound, them reaching out to people saying, hey, I'm available to speak if you ever need a speaker on this topic. Is that fair, Christine?
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the inbound side, most speakers end up setting up a profile in a directory or in a speaker's bureau and never get called. Why? Because
Right.
you just waiting. We've all heard it. I'm waiting on the Lord to send me a man. Yep, keep waiting. You know how many women still waiting on the Lord to send them a man? He gonna send you
I'm
a
putting
man.
my fan on. Keep talking, I can hear
He gonna send you a man. It's gonna be Jesus, right? You gonna
you.
meet him real soon. Right? So we know that speakers who are waiting on the Lord to send them a speaking gig, they don't get booked that often because there's a gang of other people waiting on the same speaking gig. So in our directory, we got 64,000 speakers, but only 10,000 organizers. Right? So there's a mismatch in between I just want to be chosen and the people who are doing the choosing. So you're better off introducing yourself, right? So that's what we
Right.
call outbound, right? Outbound is where you get to choose the stages you want to talk at and you're going to reach out to them, right? And whether that's a podcast, a local association, a conference, or a media outlet, we have to start viewing all of those as qualified stages if they're paying. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So we are able to help people to reach out because we figured, you know what, all the other speakers bureaus, you know what they tell you? Hey, do you charge over $25,000? If you say no, you can't show them a receipt if you charging $25,000 and getting paid that so that they can get their 30% commission, they're not taking you in. We work with any speaker, no matter what level they're at, because we don't get paid on commissions, right? We want you selling from the stage and doing those other things because that's where the money's made, right? The arrogance comes, oh, I got paid this. Well, cool. That's all right. You got paid that 3 times last year. I get paid every time I go on a podcast and I do 3 a week. So which one would you
Really?
rather be? Yeah, I'll show you. Which one
Okay.
would you rather be? The person who does the corporate gig twice a year and they get to put the logo up, or the person who could live and do whatever they want to do because their business is thriving, right? So
Right.
that's what we help. And this is just the difference between us and them. But I want to share some data with you. What do you think? How many gigs do you think the average speaker does per year?
24.
Okay, 24. All right, so let's put that in the chat. Let's see, 24. And what do you think the average speaker's income is per year?
50.
50,000. Okay. And what do you believe that the average speaker's speaker fee is?
I'll say 5,000.
Okay. All right. So let me give you a little context. Over here in LinkedIn, I run the largest group in LinkedIn. called Need a Speaker, Be a Speaker. Also run the second largest group called Be a Speaker, right? So we got thousands of people to survey. And then SpeakerHub has 64,000 customers, which means we have the largest directory of speakers in the world to pull this data from. Let me show you the real data. So let me go here to insights and answers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let me make sure we got all the data in historically. So how many gigs does the average person do? 75% of the industry does less than 1 gig a month. Only 9% of speakers are speaking the 24 times that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
That's 1 out of 10. Okay.
Okay.
What's the average speaking fee? 81% of the industry is under $4,000. Only 13%, 13 plus 7, 20% are over 5,000. So that's the top 20% that charge $5,000.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
77% of them make under 25,000. 90% make under 50 grand. Not 50 grand and above, under 50. 90% of the industry. And it's because they're all waiting to get chosen. And then they let a loser like me, who's not a professional speaker, go and make more money than them at the same gig. Right? So that's what we're trying to change. We believe that the speakers that have businesses, speaking should be the marketing tool, not the business.
I agree with that. I agree with that. The speaking is, and that's how I've been wanting to use it, is as marketing for my coaching program. But
Yep.
speaking is my first love, which is why I really want to take it to another level this year.
Yeah. I've never heard anyone say, man, I love doing Facebook ads. Nobody says that. I love doing TikToks. Everybody trying to do no TikToks at 40. Like, hey,
I
out
know,
here doing
right?
no goofy TikToks and dancing on Instagram. I got dignity. I can't be doing no stuff like that. You know, so what's the best thing? What's your best marketing tool, Christine? Your voice. So that's what we show. We show you how to use the best marketing tool you got. So let me give you an example. Bring my screen back up. Is this helpful so far?
Yeah, I like the stats.
Okay. And let me show you this. So you see I went on this podcast right here? How many views it got?
33.
33, right? I put a link down there and then I told anybody if they wanted to try our software, not only 10 of these 33 people are me showing this video to people, okay? So I know it was less than 33 people to actually watch that. How many of those 33 views do you think turned into customers for us?
You said you were giving away
A free
30
trial.
free trials,
Mhm.
but all of them?
No, not all of them. That's a good guess. I wish I was that good. I'm not that good.
Well,
Not
it
that.
was free.
Yeah, but look, they give away a lot of free stuff, and I ain't buying it, right? But we got 8 out of 30,
Okay.
which is good. If you went on a podcast and you ended up 30 people listening to it, and you got a third of them to pay attention to what you're talking about, you would take that every day, right? So, but that was just one. Now, I went on there another time, 164 people. You see that? This time we asked people to buy. We didn't ask them just for a trial. I said, give me some money. $73 of them bought. You see that there?
Out of the 163.
Out of 163.
That's pretty good.
Right?
About 40%. Okay.
Over on LinkedIn, here's another. Let me just show you this here, right? So what do you think if I said pre-sold or what is it? Pre-made, prefabricated, right? A prefabricated house is what? House is already put together like a trailer house, right?
Mhm.
Pre-baked cookies that's already baked. I just need to warm them up, right? Right.
Mhm.
Pre-assembled pizza. It's already ready. I just got to put it in the oven, right? So we talk about pre-sold leads, meaning that these are people who are already ready because they already heard me. So look at this person here. What did she say?
You're talking about people that you connected to or people that heard you on the podcast that connected to you.
Yep, I'm going to show you,
Okay.
right? First time, let me tell you, I live in Grand Rapids, Prairie, whatever, right? But I'm a transplant from the Lou, which means she knows I'm from St. Louis. So she went over and looked it up. But what she said, I saw you on YouTube on Chantel's podcast, Created for More, right? Rhonda Ross. I watched you on We're Created for More podcast with Chantel. Gregory Adaka. I listened to you on Chantel's podcast. Right? Megan, saw you on Chantel. Terry, just watched you on LOE. Right? So what I'm saying is that's just one example. I can type in YouTube and there's a bunch of other folks that'll come up that saw me on YouTube. Claudine, she's always on our calls. Dennis, right? Found out about you on YouTube. Do you have an hour? Because he's pre-sold. I just got to take the order. Like, welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order, please? I ain't got to tell him what's on the menu. He already told me what he wanted. Does that make sense? This is the result of speaking to build a bigger business, right? That's what we can help you to do. So we would help you to get on more podcasts. We would help you to get in front of more local associations, more conferences, more media outlets, get paid to write those things, right? That's what we do. Any questions so far before I show you the magic?
How to do it?
This ain't even the
Yeah.
magic. This I'm just warming the stove up. Any questions so far? Does this make sense?
It does.
Okay. How do you find your speaking gigs now?
Well, I'm using SpeakerHub.
Okay.
I just started a couple of weeks ago. But before that, I was Googling,
Yep.
using Google, referrals, that kind of thing.
Are you using SpeakerHub Pro or the regular SpeakerHub?
Pro.
Okay, let me see. You do got an account. You did the challenge. Did you do the challenge with Black NSA?
Yeah,
Yeah, Lethea Owens. Lethea's
that's
is
my
a good friend of
girl.
mine. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So you're in the right
Good friend
place.
of mine. Yeah.
That's it.
So I just need to know how to
was you
use
in the
it
top
properly.
10? Did you get in the top 10 on there?
On what?
There's the people who sent the most pitches. The top 10 got a list of TEDx talks. Did you get that?
No.
Really? It says you sent 47. I'm like, how are you not in the top 10? I'm gonna send it to you anyway. How about that?
I love it.
How about
So
that? Because you
what
definitely
is-
sent more than some of the people on that list. So,
Right.
but go ahead. What's your question? Let me help you.
So what I would like to know is the best way to use
Yep.
SpeakerHub
So,
Pro.
all right, perfect. I'm gonna show you.
So I
the
could
best
get
way.
some, like, if it's possible to get some gigs in the next week or two.
Okay.
Anything's possible.
Right. So we teach a framework called 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 quarters. If you're trying to get on a podcast, you can do that in 2 weeks. Meaning you could reach out to a podcaster today, talk to them tomorrow. They will record with you on Monday, and that podcast will be out by Friday. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking to speak at a local association, it's going to take 2 months. Why? Because they already got their March speaker. They already got their April speaker. They're booking 2 months out.
Mhm.
Got it?
Okay.
Conferences are
And you're saying local.
Yeah, anybody in our associations tag. Like these
Mhm.
associations, they do monthly meetings. Right? You see what I mean? Like these companies, they're going to have monthly meetings. The Council for Aging in Oregon, they're going to be doing monthly meetings,
Okay.
monthly webinars, bringing people in, things of that sort.
Do
Got
they
it?
play what? Do they pay well?
Well, I don't know what they pay. We don't get involved because my thing is I want our speakers you're going to make more money out of the audience, right? So, but it's, it's up for you all to negotiate. We don't get involved in what they pay because most speakers are not going to get paid. And as you saw, 46% of them are making less than $500 per speech. So it's like, I would rather them pay me nothing and let me sell my stuff.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes
So
perfect
it's really a bet on myself. It's like, well, wait a minute. Do I believe I can go in and get more than what they offer me? If I can, I'm going to negotiate to be able to talk about my stuff. They can keep this $2,000. I'm gonna go get me 10 people out the audience. Right. So, but that's what the associations are about. Does that make sense? So that's 2 weeks as a podcast, speaking 2 months at an association, and 2 quarters is how far out conferences are booked. If you're pitching right now in March, you're pitching November, December, January of next year. November, December this year, January of next year. That's the quarter that you're in right now pitching conferences. Because they're going to make their decision 4 to 6 months ahead of time. And then you'll show up at that conference later this year. That's why we do the flywheel. The speakers who are using all of them, they're the ones that are winning. They're always on a podcast. They're always doing smaller gigs. They're always seem to have a conference coming up. But the way that they pay for that is they don't believe in free speech. And neither do I. Every time I open my mouth, I should be getting paid. And what I mean by that is whether I get paid up front, I get paid during the event from clients, or I get paid after the event, it's my responsibility to get paid, right? So that's what we help. I mean, if you believe that speaking is the marketing tool, I would be slamming podcasts because it's a referral. If I let me give you an example. Let's say, hey, if I told you, hey, at 6 o'clock, I got 20 Christian women, Black women that what denomination you in?
Seventh-day Adventist.
Okay, I got 7 Black women that are Seventh-day Adventists. I know they are. They told me, right? And they were looking for a leadership speaker, but they can't pay anything. But they open to coaching and things of that sort. It's 20 of them. How many would you show up to give that talk?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Because I'm going to get paid at
By
some
who?
point
By
by
who?
the women, the people in the audience.
Yep.
So should I be clicking on the spirituality on the right?
No, you can type whatever you want. You could use that. I mean, different words are going to show up based on your own searches.
Yeah.
So you can see here, I put 7th day in, and it's
Uh-huh.
bringing up different SDA church podcasts. You know who's not listening to these? People that don't believe it. So you already filter for the women that believe it. Does your leadership talk only apply to 7-day Adventists, or does it apply to any Christian woman?
No. Anyway.
Yeah. So now I can just go Christian women. And now I got 182 podcasts I can go be a guest on, which is no different than that 20 people showing up that I referred you to. This person is just referring you to their audience. The only difference is that they're not all watching at the same time.
Right. So
Right.
a question. So when you go to podcast, when you make an offer, do you recommend that you just make a free offer, like a consultation?
On the podcast or to the
On
podcast
the
host?
when you're on the podcast at the end, when they allow you to,
Yep.
you know.
So, yeah, your call to action. So we have this thing called frameworks. You see that? Have you been in here?
I have not. Where is that? Branding kit?
Yep. So you mind if I log into your account? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure it's yours. I don't want to be you like, hey, don't be going in my stuff.
I know.
Look,
Just don't say.
look, I ain't about to fight with you. I want to make sure because I want to help you, but I don't want to fight with you.
Hey,
Angela's
I have to
laughing.
hop off for another call.
All right. I'll see you
Let's
later,
get back
Ange.
to it.
Nice
All right.
meeting you, Angela.
Yeah, I mean, there's the only difference between a hug and a headlock is the amount of pressure applied, So I want to make sure you ain't about to put me in the headlock, So,
Don't worry about
all
that.
right.
Since you're a
So,
friend of Lethea, no, I won't.
huh?
Since you're a friend of
Oh, yeah.
Lethea, I won't.
No, that makes sense. I get it. So here we go. We click on frameworks, and you can see we believe that every talk can be given from 3 perspectives: how to build a skill, how to be a better leader, how to grow a business, right? So when we look at these 3 different talks and these 3 different perspectives, that's your signature talk right there. But we have these other frameworks that you could use. Like, hey, what should I be offering on when I'm on a podcast? Well, click on product suggestions, right? And now inside of your account is going to generate different ideas of things you should create. Maybe an easy workbook or an ebook or online course, or invite them to a webinar. These are all things that you can make calls to action.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Now, the cool thing about the ebook and the workbook is that once you get it set up, you can put it inside of your speaker QR system. Yours isn't set up yet, but once you turn that on, it'll make a QR code and give you a link that you can give to the podcaster in order for people to go download your thing.
So tell me about that. The speaker QR. I didn't even know about that. That's in the lead section.
Yep. So in this section, you can upload your own list of leads, and you can also generate leads from your talks. So when you go give a talk, a lot of times people want to come up to you afterwards, but they got to run. I got to run. I would have loved to say something to it, but I got to run. No, shine your phone at this QR, leave me a review. We'll talk later. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So let me show you what it looks like. I'm going to go back to my account and show you what Speaker QR looks like. So basically, you can see here on this Terry and Michael show, somebody left me a review. I love the part about breakdancing and eating shawarma. Cool. I click follow up because they left me that review, and it writes the email, hey, thanks for the 5-star review. I'm thrilled to hear about.
Yeah, that's the part that I really like.
Right. So that's the QR does that, right?
Yeah.
That's where that response comes from, right? So you can come in and you can manage whatever you're wanting to do. Like I can come and manage those opportunities right there. Right.
So experts is what?
Experts is where you are, right?
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, got you.
Divine Discipline, there's your bio, there's your website, everything is right here. Make sense? When
Mhm.
someone leaves you a review using QR, that's going to show up underneath. So people can see what your ratings are.
Okay.
Make sense?
Mhm.
So this is going to be, right now, it's just there kind of a, as a placeholder, but over time, we'll be inviting our 10,000 organizers into SpeakerHub Pro to see the speakers that are like you. Got it? But did this kind of help you with your perspective on podcasts and the value of them? If you think of it as the host just gave me a referral to this audience, your performance changes. Like the interview isn't just, hey girl, yeah, let me talk about this. It's like, no, I got a mission I got to accomplish. Cause I've been on a bunch of podcasts where I was just on there kind of jiving around. Like, hey, yeah, man, this is what I do, man. This is funny. And we get to talking about stuff. And I'm like, I got no customers from this. All these people I was just introduced to, now they just know I got a 3-year-old daughter. They ain't buying, I don't sell baby toys. What are we doing? So I started being a bit more intentional. I can still let my personality out, but I also had to realize that, there's somebody listening to this because they want a problem solved. That's my job. So even when I was on the call with you guys, I don't know if you saw me on the in the challenge for the 15 minutes. I think I was on there for about 15 minutes after our daily call, and I was very purposeful in them 15 minutes. Hey, I need you to come get this software. If you want to win this pitch challenge, you're gonna need this. It's gonna be hard Googling. But that's it.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, I like the software. So I will change things. Because I was just focusing on associations and some conferences. So I'm gonna look at sending out pitches to podcasts as well.
Yeah, I think the biggest opportunity is podcast, right? There's 3.5 million of them. There's only 44,000 conferences.
Right.
And everybody's going after them. And I'm like, dude, y'all want to be famous, you want to be rich, right? Because everybody want to be known. But I'm like, you get known by more people on the podcast than what you ever will at the conference, you know?
Okay. Well, I
Any other
appreciate this
questions?
time.
Huh?
No.
All
No.
right, cool. Well, you know where to find us. We're here every day at 12 noon, 3
Do you
p.m.
have a contact info number?
Yep. So a couple of things you can do really quick. I'll give you my information, but right inside, if you ever go to Academy and you have tech problems, you can contact support directly here. And that'll bring you over to answer any questions. You can answer any questions about, these are all the articles, right? So we have all of those tech support things. If you want to join the co-working calls, that's the call you're on now. You can come here. It's every 12 noon, 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. Eastern on a daily basis. So we're here live to answer any questions about the business of speaking, right? And then if you need something help personally, like, yo, I can't find either one of these, I need a refund, I don't like this, whatever, then there's my direct calendar right there that puts you right onto my calendar, just like you got here today. And that's how it works.
Did you develop this software?
Yep. I bought SpeakerHub,
awesome.
but I built the SpeakerHub Pro is something that me and our team built. So there's 42 of us around the world. We have 24 full-time employees, 18 contractors in 9 countries that make this machine go. I just get to be the dude out front talking about it. Angela makes all the stuff happen.
I do have a quick question. What is the best way to keep track of who responded?
Yep, I'll show you. It's a great question. So here, there's a thing called mailbox. You see that?
Okay.
So when you click on mailbox, you can see all of the podcasts that are waiting for you to reach out to. And you can also see the ones that you've been reaching out to and following up with. All right. So if I wanted to follow up with Yes Indeed, I can come here and I can send my follow-up message, right? It's going to write the follow-up email. Make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So just
And
go to
then-
mailbox.
Yep, go to mailbox. And then you can update the status. If they replied back to you, cool. If they booked you, cool. If they said no, cool. You just pick which one is it. Did you get a response? Yes or no, right? Make sense?
So if you get a response and they said, let's say, send some more information. If you hit yes,
Yep.
does
That
not
means
put it in the archive?
It's going to put it here in replied.
Right.
And then in
Okay.
replied, you come
Oh,
in.
gotcha.
And then you can put it in notes. I spoke with the host, we're set for March 1st.
Okay.
I spoke with Christine, follow up April 2nd.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So now that they replied, we know that y'all are talking. Well, what happened? Did you get booked? Yes or no? If you got booked, you click yes, it moves it to booked. If you click no, it moves it to archive.
Awesome.
Make
All
sense?
right. Mm-hmm.
This is what we do, man. We are the greatest
This is a
in the
great
world.
software. This is a great software. I have to say that. Thank you so much.
High five. I'm just glad I'm not getting the headlock, you know?
No
I'm not
headlock. No
I'm not
headlock.
getting the headlock. Sharon, what's up?
Thank you.
See you later.
Take care. I will see you another day.
We'll be here every day,
All
Monday
right.
through Friday.
All right.
Sharon, what's going
Bye-bye.
on?
Yeah, I do have a question. Like after it goes into, let's say the booking category, is there any way that like the information can be downloaded like in a, what is it called, a CVS or something? Because I know we can upload stuff.
Yeah, but not yet. We haven't done that just yet.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
reason
Okay.
being, it ends up creating a whole bunch of other problems. Because
Mhm.
the minute that we let people download, now we got to spend and make 20 videos on how to upload it into their other stuff.
Okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
You see what I mean? They be like, okay,
Mhm.
I downloaded. Well, how do I upload it to go high level? How do I upload it to this? And I'm like, why? Why do you need to? You know what? You already got booked. What are we moving it to? Right? So
Yeah.
we're like, okay, if we add this, what are the consequences of us adding that? Right? Or the same thing with email. People get mad. I can't believe that you only allow Google and Microsoft. I'm like, do you know how many other email systems it is out there?
Mhm.
And we would have to answer all the questions around there when 99% of the people on earth got a Google or a Microsoft. So we be thinking like, okay, what's the effect of this one decision? We just
Yeah,
don't know
pretty
how. We
much.
don't.
It's like 5 steps ahead. There's a book. I forget that guy name who wrote it, but he wrote a book 5 steps ahead. So that's what you all are
Yeah, there's a guy, Patrick Bet David, who
doing.
wrote
Yeah.
a book
Mm.
called Your Next Five Moves.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. Your
Right?
next 5 moves. Yeah.
See, people be thinking I don't be reading. I know every book on earth.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm trying to give it a different name.
Oh no, that's it. I knew what you was talking about. I already got this. I got this on audio. It's gonna tell you it's already in my thing. You see it in
Mm,
your library. You see that? I already
yeah.
got this. I bought this in 2020. Right? I probably go through 2 books a week, like seriously. So my kids think these are made to my head. You know.
Oh
Any other
yeah.
questions before we head off?
No, that was it. Because like I said, I've started working, and again, the system is really good. And the way that I'm using it, is that, I do a Google Sheet. And so that's why I was asking regarding CVS, so that like for the ones who are not just replied, or that too, the ones who replied and then definitely booked, it's just so that I can, help. And then, if I needed to use it in any other way, that's fine. But I do understand where you're coming from, because like you said, different people are using it in different ways, and you just can't account for it. And that's the other part of business. We have to be accountable for ourselves. You
Oh,
know what I mean?
100%. Hey, I'll tell you a funny story. People get caught up on all of that stuff, and then they don't send no emails. And I'm
Hmm.
like, what are we doing? Like, why don't we just not do that? Let me stop this recording. See y'all later.
Hmm.